some interesting reporting over the weekend about Kari Lake, who has been one of the most sort of aggressive election deniers. In fact, Donald Trump praised her in a private phone call to Blake Masters for the fact that she talked about 2020 being rigged every single time she could. Prepare for likely loss. Kari Lake, staring on a likely loss, is being advised by GOP operatives and some of her closest aides to take a measured approach should she come up short in the vote tally and not storm the castle. How much are the folks in your state trying to game out what a non-conceded to loss would look like in this event?
We're not thinking about that. If you decide not to concede, you're just a loser.
Oh, shit.
Matter of fact, you want to go down as being an ignorant loser. Congratulations. Matter of fact, you want to go down as being an ignorant loser. Congratulations.
You know, sometimes you want detailed analysis of how exactly conspiratorial MAGA Republicans are clutching at straws as they desperately try to save face in light of yet another loss. And well, sometimes you just need this.
For the fact that she talked about 2020 being rigged every single time she could.
We're not thinking about that. If you decide not to concede, you're just a loser. As being an ignorant loser, congratulations. It's not going to help you in future elections. So go ahead. Go at it, Kari.
The straightforward, 100% unabashed truth. That Republicans, especially MAGA-endorsed election-denying Republicans like Kari Lake, well, they're sore losers. Hence why, instead of admitting to the loss and conceding, they choose to attack democracy itself under the pretense of patriotism.
I believe that people of Arizona would vote for her and that she would win. But if that's what happens at the end of the day, how do you certify an election that is this botched? And she's the one that would certify her own election where it was botched, where the machines didn't work in more than a third of the polling centers. I don't know how we remedy this, but the people of Arizona are furious. They're reaching out to us by the thousands saying, I don't think my vote even was counted. I didn't even get a chance to vote. There were so many hoops to jump through. I had to go because my daughter had a track meet, or my work wasn't going to give me 4 hours off, 6 hours off to vote. It's outrageous what happened.
And well, look how good that worked out for Trump. Or say the countless election-denying Trump-endorsed extremists who ran during the midterms. Across the board, we witnessed a brutal rejection of MAGA election deniers in competitive areas, especially swing states. In governors' races, we have Kari Lake in Arizona, Tudor Dixon in Michigan, and Doug Mastriano in Pennsylvania. For Secretary of State, there's Mark Fincham in Arizona, Christina Caramo in Michigan, and Jim Marchant in Nevada. And for the Senate, Blake Masters in Arizona, and Don Bolduc in New Hampshire. And last but not least, in the House, Joe Kent and John Gibbs. And so, recently with Kari Lake, as is par for the course, she won't concede and is instead kicking and screaming on Fox News, claiming that the election, of course, was botched or rigged.
Where it was botched, where the machines didn't work in more than a third of the polling centers, 6 hours off to vote. It's outrageous what happened. We had lines that were 3 and 4 hours long in retirement areas where people were old. And all of this happened in Republican areas. My area where I was going to vote, the printer didn't work. There wasn't enough toner in the printer. So I went to a liberal part of town and got right in and out in about 15 minutes. It's funny how that works in Arizona.
Yeah, I mean, if Katie's...
But the thing is, it won't change the results. Not only have those very same tactics cost her the election, it cost the GOP control of the Arizona state government for the first time since 2009.
If they want to wallow in their sorrow and they want to come up with excuses, good. Live with that and move on. We won. Time to, deal with reality.
And the only thing sweeter than that is either the shade thrown by Liz Cheney, who Kari Lake attacked in a smug letter early in her campaign in which she claimed that Liz Cheney telling people not to vote for Kari Lake actually helped boost her campaign, which wasn't true. Or just this morning, former press secretary Jen Psaki proving that Psaki bombs are not just reserved for the podium.
We drove a stake through the heart of the McCain machine.
I don't know, Jen Psaki. Feel like maybe you could have used a few of those votes from those people that you drove the stake through.
Right. I mean,
It turns out, Chris, that people of Arizona still like the war hero who proudly served for decades and died heroically of cancer while saving the Affordable Care Act. People still like him. So, yes, I mean, it is clear that she misjudged that.
You decide not to concede, you're just a loser. So we're not worried about you. As a matter of fact, you want to go down as being an ignorant loser. Congratulations.
MeidasTouch is unapologetically pro-democracy. And look, we know you are too. So please make sure you check out our best-selling shirt and our best-selling gear, the unapologetically pro-democracy gear. And hey, while you're at it, make sure you check out my favorite shirt and one of our most famous designs. It wasn't rigged, you're just a loser. At store.meidastouch.com. That's store.meidastouch.com.